Welcome, you are listening to the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak show. On the Suspense Files, we are covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, obsession, crimes of passion, mysteries, cold cases, and more. On tonight's episode, the pastor's wife. She knows how to pray. Demonic activity, ministry, scandals. The Sister Speak show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through the arts. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through Ayana. But you better call me Sister Speak. Welcome to my first-time listeners. Welcome to my faithful listeners. It is 8:38 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm recording from Dallas, Texas, and it's all the way up because anything going down is crashing. Oh, we have a very interesting episode tonight, wouldn't you say? Yes, we're just going to go ahead and keep this rhythm going where we are exposing and focusing on demonic activity. So we were going to talk about the pastor, the praying pastor from the episode that you all just got through listening to. We're going to definitely have to shine some light on the pastor's wife because she knows how to pray. Prey. Yes, brothers and sisters. To my first time listeners, you know what? Once again, welcome to the Sister Speak show. The Sister Speak show network is rated R for strong language, content, and ideas. Strong language, thoughts, and ideas. First and last warning, you need two things when you listen to the Sister Speak show. Water, scuba gear, water for your gas, inside of your body, that is. Your body's made up of 75 to 95% of water. How could you not like water? Your body needs it. That's the only way you're going to be able to withstand all the wiles of the dark one. Well, that's an ingredient that helps you, okay? It's your reflective power. And we are a thinking podcast. We are a bold podcast. And my listening audience they're amazing and they're wise. And we are warriors. Scuba gear, self-contained, underwater, breathing apparatus, because we dive deep into leagues of the sea that some are afraid to go into, and we don't want you to get lost at sea. That's the last place that you want to be lost, is at sea. Okay, brothers and sisters, we want you to be able to keep up. Now that you know about the Sister Speak show, as far as the primary formalities, let me explain something to you. I am pro-village. I am pro-12 tribes of Israel. I am pro-Most High God and Yah. There is no straddling the fence on that. I am a firm believer. This is a podcast for all shades of brown people. I want to send a shout out to Cambodia. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to tell you this. Thank you for blessing me. Cambodia is showing me love. Once again, Texas, y'all. These last 2 months, Texas, y'all have showed up and showed out as far as supporting and downloading. I want to thank you so much. I want to thank all of Africa. You guys are just all over. There's not one country that is just not listening. You all are all listening. I thank you. I want to thank the USSR. I see Turkey. I see Georgia. I see Jordan. I see Israel. Who else do I see? There was so many. Kosovo. There was just Turkey. I think I mentioned Turkey, but there's just so many downloads. I'm just like, thank you all. I have statistics that show me that. I don't want you to think that I'm not acknowledging you, that I'm not seeing you, that I don't know that you're listening. You're listening. All right. Now, brothers and sisters, we're going to go ahead and get into this because this is imperative that we continue to carry on the conversation about spiritual warfare in the church and being able to unveil, okay, being able to expose, being able to equip yourself, okay? You need to be able to know who the people in your neighborhood are, because if you don't know who the people in your neighborhood are, it could be some stranger danger that shows up at your doorstep and invites you to come to a function at the church, and the next thing you know, you're being preyed upon, and not in a biblical way, but in a spiritual warfare manner, energy. And we've got to make sure that if you want to be a warrior, if you are dedicated to not being deceived, if you are against false prophets, if you are against having your entire livelihood taken from you in order to keep the church lights on, the building fund, if you are tired of seeing things that are going on that you know it's just not right, then this is definitely another episode that you need to listen to. Because the clips that I have tonight that are for fair use, based on the Fair Use Act of 1976, Section 107, this is for educational purposes. This is to raise awareness, bare minimum of entertainment. I guess I would be the entertainment. But I'm just saying that these clips are going to give more detail into what's going on with this demonic activity in the ministry. And when it comes to being a pastor's wife, if you all listened to the last episode, you know that's a position that is desired by many. Many desire to be a pastor's wife, a preacher's wife, to be the forefront, the first lady. And sometimes, you know, being in that position comes with a heavy price. And being in that position also comes with scandal. Sometimes. Allegedly. And you're going to church thinking that things are one way when flip them pews upside down. It's a party bus. It's party bus seats underneath the pews. This is not what you think this is. And a pastor's wife has a very specific role. And it is a role, as I mentioned, that many desire to have. But the desires to be in that position are not righteous all of the time. And you will be amazed at the hidden reasons, the hidden agendas as to why some women must at all costs be a pastor's wife. Like I mentioned before, it is the spotlight. It is the fan club. It is the perks. It is the notoriety, the status. It is the clothes. It is the cars, the access to the excess, while giving the congregation crumbs, while deceiving the congregation. There are so many women who want to rub shoulders with the pastor's wife. They do anything to be the pastor's wife's best friend. They want to be the best friend of the wife. They want to be the confidant. They want to be in the in club. It's their in club in church. And I'm trying to figure out, why the fuck is there an in club in church? Is this high school or a hospital? Is this church or is this recess? What is this? What time is the next show? Where am I and what is going on? Because the problem concerning the pastor's wife, with who I'm speaking about in this specific episode, is that they got out of hand. The power was too much. The privilege was too much. The ability to control people was too much. And the ball was dropped, or should I say the Bible was dropped. And we have never lived in a day and age where it was not imperative to receive the truth. The truth has always been imperative. It has always been something that is a medicine to our souls. And when you are in a position of the pastor's wife, there's a lot that can be exposed if you're a low vibrating wife. If you're in that position not to encourage, motivate, teach, build, progress, then what are you there for? Pause. Y'all, I ate something a little spicy, and I promise you right now, I think I'm having a flash. Anyway, it's probably the enemy not wanting me to get this out. Ever since I started trying to record these, hold on. Okay, I had to hydrate. Excuse me, y'all. But ever since I've been diving into the spiritual warfare episodes, the enemy has definitely been trying to not, get me to not record, get me to not be able to bring forth what my assignment is. But he's a liar, and I'm going to be resilient, and I'm going to persevere. Moving forward, you've been to church before. More than, excuse me. Oh my gosh, I hope that burp did not pick up. I really apologize, y'all. More than likely, you have been in a church where the pastor is married. Just think back, and I'm not talking about to when you were young, and maybe you have some memories when you're young, but I'm just talking about when you were able to just peep game. Think back to the energy that the pastor's wife possesses. What type of energy is it? And be fair, whether it's high or low, what type of energy does she possess? Are you interconnected in your church to where you know the gossip, the rumors, the scandal? Are you a part of the scandal? How much do you know about the inner workings of the church that you attend? I know that we've all heard other inner workings, but being in it is a different type of experience and testimony. So let's just be real. When the scandal hits the church, who's all involved? And one thing, to be fair, it's really difficult to have to come to church when your husband is not only laying hands, but he's laying penis on the congregation. And it's really disrespectful when you're so in tune with your husband that you would never think that he would cheat. Meanwhile, this man is out here absolutely out of pocket. And everybody knows but her. Now that's that side. But tonight's episode, this is where the wife is scandalous, where she does not give zero fucks about who she hurts. It is all about her, her energy, and what she can gain. And the scandals, oh my goodness. These are just the ones that were exposed. Can you imagine the ones that have not gotten out, but God knows about, but they have not gotten out, that are just tearing up the church? And the center of the scandal is the pastor's wife, because she knows how to pray. You better be able to look past all that fine clothes, all those fine clothes and jewels. You better look past all that, and you better pay attention to the energy. Because the last thing you want to ask her is to pray for you. See, some of you go around asking people to pray for you, and that's exactly what they do. They pray for you and on you. And you're left wounded and discarded. Some cases, buried. Pray for me. You know, I know you a praying woman and a woman of God and this and the third. Just, girl, I'm going through some things. Could you just pray for me? Oh, sure, I'll pray for you. No problem. Of course, sis. That's what we're supposed to do here in this congregation. And your business is on the 5 o'clock news, church news, that is, or you might be used as a pawn in a bigger scandal to come. Nevertheless, the pastor's wife, she knows how to pray. Demonic activity, ministry scandals. It's real. We'll be right back, brothers and sisters, after this commercial break. Be careful who you ask to pray for you, I'm telling you. Because you don't know who their God really is. Ooh. Isn't that something? Here you are, really a believer, and you enter into a sanctuary and there's nothing sanctified about it. And now you're in the midst of a church scandal because the pastor's wife, she knows how to pray. Prayer is supposed to change things. Not create scandal. We're going to try this again. I backed myself out of recording, and you weren't able to hear the commercial, so we'll be right back after this commercial break. The Praying Pastor. Demonic Activity, Murder, and Ministry on the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show. It's available on demand now. Rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. When it comes to being a rap lyricist, what sets you apart is your ability to be able to freestyle on demand. If you can't freestyle, you can't rap. The latest episode of the Tour on the Sister Speak Show is available on demand now. In this episode, beatdowns versus bars, when freestyle battles turn violent. Rated R for strong content and language. On the tour, we cover all aspects of the music industry, focusing on musicians, managers, songwriters, producers, music groups, DJs, with exclusive music as well as concert reviews and IG Live concerts and interviews. On the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Go ahead and click the link for the latest episode. The latest episode of The Laugh Line on the Sister Speak Show is available on demand now. On this episode, can you take the heat? The origin of the comedy roast. Do some jokes go too far? Plus, naturally funny, Desi Banks, and on tour again, must-see comedians. On the Laugh Line, we are covering all aspects of comedy for all shades of brown people. You will not be disappointed. This episode is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. It's time to what? Podcast and chill with the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Click the link in the bio for this episode. It's time to get lit, laugh, learn, and live. You better act like you know. I thought you guys would appreciate that. Brothers and sisters, we're going to go ahead and get into this, okay? We're going to get into this episode. We're going to listen to these clips, and we're going to put ourselves in a position to learn, okay? This is about learning. I know some of you all are extremely protective of your church congregation, your generations in. You know, it is all of this whole, reasons of why you're so protective. Let me explain something to you. As a light worker and as somebody who has been faithful when it comes to going to church, I'm somebody who has been in a low vibration and a high vibration when it comes. I have seen a lot, just like many of you all have. But I got to a point where I could not take the shit anymore. And I was aware of something serious. We'll get into it later. I'm going to go ahead and play these clips. And I'm not the only human who came from this particular church that has a story to tell about their own encounters with ministry scandals, with people preying upon them. It's deep and it's fucked up because there is a requirement. And the requirement is, if I step into your building, okay, and you say you are a church, a place of refuge, a place where I'm able to come and feel safe. And I walk and, but you know good and well that that's not the case. You know that your turnaround rate for members is horrible. You know you lose them just as fast as you get them to join. There is a problem worldwide with false prophets, with false prophecy and false prophets. There's a problem with false callings, and there's a problem with the bullshit in the pulpit and the bullshit in the pews. There's no demon, there's no devil, there's no witch, there's no practitioner. There's no dark entity that super rules what I'm saying. There's no principality. You took it upon yourself, whatever entity, whatever church you are, your pastor took it upon himself to say that this is what he was called to do. And some of you say, well, I'm growing in the church. I remember when I was growing too, and I grew my ass right up out of there, delivered out of there. Prophetic dreams showing me it was time to go. You cannot expect people to stay in a place that is full of scandal, that keeps you stagnant, that does not want you to, that doesn't even spoon feed you. Like literally, it is kibbles and bits. That's a problem. And when you have a duo that is preying upon the congregation, well, what the fuck? Do you expect people not to say anything? It's always, that's my first lady, that's my pastor, and he can do no wrong, she can do no wrong, I'm going to stand by them. Even though I see them, like I said last night, doing this shit in front of me, I'm going to say that they're not doing it. You can't make that make sense. So that's a reason why so many people are seeking the kingdom of God and his righteousness without the help of what the fuck y'all got going on Sundays. It's a lot of phony shit. It's a lot of bullshit going on, and it's not genuine. And I'm speaking about the ones that are like this. If you feel like your church is not like this, then and you have evidence, email me. Prove it. Prove it. Because you cannot walk with God without walking with him. And the Lord doesn't sit down solely. He walks. You have to walk with him. That means he's moving, walking with him. So I'm asking how much walking is going on in your building. Because I see nothing but pews. And oh, by the way, in that pew I see a vain spirit. An arrogant spirit. Sometimes you see a wounded spirit. So a lot of the times people just say, fuck it, I'm out of here. They don't have time for it because they don't fit in. And that lets you know that you've been sanctified, set apart when you don't fit in. You were never made to fit in. And you had to learn, you have been heartbroken behind your church experiences, as I talked about last night. You've been heartbroken by them. The pastor has said some shit to you, or you've heard that the pastor has said and done some things that you just like, wait a minute, now hold up. What in the Jerusalem, what in the Galilee is going on here? What in the Hebrews is this about? You picked up on it. Some of you have had some situations where it's like, damn, that's your wife, but you're flirting with me. It is the audacity of playing with the word. We're going to get into these clips. I thank you all for being a wonderful listening audience. This is for fair use, to educate my brothers and sisters in the village about the pollution in the church, the scandals in the church, the praying in the church, the predators, how people are being betrayed and deceived by people who say that they're believers, by people who say that they are working out their soul salvation, by people who practice black magic, spell work, and voodoo, by people who are living a double, not even a double life, a quadruple life. And all you want is just to make sure that you are not going to hell. All you want to do is just learn the word. All you want to do is just this, that, and the third. And for some reason, there is this extreme miseducation and a lot of perishing for lack of knowledge.
On News 8 at 5, developing news out of Kalamazoo, the wife of a pastor accused of paying teenagers for sex is now facing charges.
Target 8 investigator Susan Samples has...
I apologize. Just to let you know, around 10 minutes and 50 seconds, there's some technical difficulty. So we're just going to call that part the remix. All right.
Followed this case for years, and she's at the live desk with the latest. Susan?
Strick and Jasminique Strickland are accused of using their positions at a Kalamazoo church and the Kalamazoo Public School District to coerce teen boys into sex. Court records show Jasminique Strickland is now facing 3 counts of third-degree criminal sexual conduct, as well as 2 counts of child sexually abusive activity and 3 counts of human trafficking a minor. She has not yet been officially charged. Last September, her husband, Strick Strickland, was charged with several child sex abuse counts himself. Strickland is the former pastor of Second Baptist Church and worked for Kalamazoo Public Schools. Investigators allege Strickland paid the teens to have sex with Jasminique and send him nude photos. This has all allegedly happened between 2015 and 2018. Strickland has denied the allegations. Again, Jasminique has not been formally charged as of yet. We'll continue to follow her case and keep you updated.
Tonight, the story of a condemned apartment building owned by a pastor that is now burned down and the scene of an arson investigation.
More than a dozen families lived there before it was declared unlivable. The power had been shut off and the place was a mess.
Tonight, another turn in the case. The pastor's wife has been brought in on charges connected to the apartments and the Muskegon church her husband led.
24-hour News 8's Leon Hendricks has this report tonight.
This is the end of the story at 309 East Hackley in Muskegon Heights. Flames ravaged the vacant apartments, once home to 15 families. Now, they say, a crime scene.
We were able to determine that the fire was intentionally set. We're looking into the potential motives for the fire.
The owners of the property, James and Pamela Duncan, pastor and first lady of the Revival Miracle Temple Church around the corner. This building here has been reduced to a pile of rubble. While the building may be gone, their troubles here are not. Enter the arrest of Pamela Duncan, the First Lady, booked late last week on 3 felonies, 3 counts of false pretenses over the past several years. The charges allege money gains totaling between $3,000 and $60,000. The Muskegon County prosecutor says Pam bilked thousands from Consumers Energy, running up electricity bills to the point of shutoff and then starting anew under a different name. Properties involved included the apartment, the church building nearby, and the couple's now former home near North Muskegon. Some websites list its value at $500,000 or more.
And the utilities were turned off and they left.
Did that surprise you when you saw them moving?
They just left.
The pastor's home here no longer, but now here at this motel nearby. Our efforts to find him ended with him finding us at the scene of the fire.
Whatever is true, but whatever ain't true is not true.
What is the story behind the electric bills that were in changing names and what have you that have led to the charges?
Again, I'll let that be done to the attorney is handling all of that stuff. So we'll let that be handled. All I know is that nobody tried to do nothing wrong or evil.
Are you saying your wife is innocent of these charges?
No, I'm saying that, but I don't want to even get into that.
Criminal charges against Pamela Duncan are pending. She's expected in front of a judge later this month. In Muskegon Heights, Leon Hendricks, 24-Hour News 8.
Neither the pastor nor his wife have been named as suspects in the arson investigation. Muskegon Heights fire officials are asking anyone with information about the case to contact Muskegon Heights Police or Silent Observer.
This story stung our hearts 2 years ago. A woman pregnant with her second child killed, shot to death in her own home. There were 3 men arrested in this case, and all 3 of them faced murder charges until today. 23-year-old Jalen Watson struck a deal with prosecutors that dropped the murder charge against him. Watson instead will plead guilty to burglary with a deadly weapon. Watson will also cooperate in the prosecutions of the 2 other suspects, Larry Taylor and Deanna Gordon, who faced murder charges in connection with Blackburn's death. Now, one of those suspects is scheduled to go to trial in April, and police say the 3 men were burglarizing Blackburn's neighborhood on the morning of her death. She was shot in the head during the break-in. Her husband, Pastor Davy Blackburn, came home to find her unresponsive. She died less than a day later. Amanda was 12 weeks pregnant with the couple's second child. I'm Beth Vaughn. Back to you.
Were you pastor who was killed at his home in Lemon Grove? Police have arrested his wife in connection with his death. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell is live at the Reformed Presbyterian Church. Marie, I know you spoke with a member of the church community. They must be devastated.
They truly are, Virginia. The man I spoke with says that he worked closely with Noah Shepherd. He says the community right now is just trying to come to terms and understand and process what has happened. But he says he truly was a good person. Monday evening, sheriff patrol cars and other emergency vehicles filled this Lemon Grove neighborhood of Camino de las Palmas. This was after investigators say Gabriella Shepherd called 911 saying she had shot her husband Noah. Deputies say Gabriella told them she had thought Shepherd was an intruder and was trying to get in the house from the backyard. Later that night, deputies came back to the house and arrested her on suspicion of murder. Noah was more than just a husband and father to 2 young kids. According to social media posts, he was also a valuable part of the Reformed Presbyterian Church. Members of this faith community say even though he hasn't been the pastor at this church for long, he was an excellent leader who was well respected. According to Noah's Facebook page, him and his wife have been married since 2016. We checked court records, and the couple has had no prior domestic violence or restraining orders filed. His wife, Gabriella, is being held at Las Colinas without bail. And she is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow afternoon. Live from Oak Park, Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Marie, our hearts go out to the children and the rest of the family. Do you know how the church is helping them?
Yeah, well, Virginia, talking to this man, this member of the community, he says they are going to be accepting financial donations that will go towards funeral expenses, as well as for these kids who are at this point without both parents. Virginia?
Thank you, Marie. We appreciate the update.
We're learning a little bit more about the investigation.
Well, now new at 6 o'clock, LA's most prominent black church is caught up in an ugly legal battle. First AME is suing its former pastor and his wife, accusing them of financial mismanagement. The Reverend John Hunter would not talk to us on camera after being removed from his job. And right now we're going to go out to Angie Crouch. Angie.
Hi there, that's right. The pastor's wife, Denise Hunter, is speaking out on television for the first time, denying all of these allegations and saying this is nothing more than a power grab by the new leadership here at the First AME Church.
This was all orchestrated, as it has been, with the intent of damaging my reputation and damaging my husband's reputation.
Denise Hunter says she wants to set the record straight, claiming she and her husband, Reverend John Hunter, are being falsely accused and vilified. You think this is a witch hunt?
I do. I know that it is a witch hunt.
And we are sick and tired of the banking system.
When the fiery Reverend John Hunter was removed from his job as pastor of First AME Church last year amid allegations of financial mismanagement and a settlement in a sexual harassment lawsuit, His wife kept her job as head of the church's nonprofit economic development group called Fame Corporations. But the church's new leadership wants Denise Hunter out. A lawsuit has been filed against the Hunters and 7 trustees, claiming they conspired to stage a coup, taking control of Fame Corporations for their own financial gain. Hunter believes she has the right to control the charity's finances because the nonprofits are incorporated separately from the church.
So the church would not be able to dictate what happens in the corporations. It just doesn't work that way. We're separate corporate entities.
But the lawsuit claims, according to this book of AME bylaws, the church has legal control over the charities. A court will decide who's right. Today, a thick chain bars the door at the $2 million Encino mansion where the Hunters lived until they were forced out last month. Despite giving up the church-owned home, Denise Hunter denies she or her husband ever misused church money.
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's all false.
It's all false.
Now, the Reverend Hunter was transferred by church officials up to a smaller church in San Francisco, but when he showed up, they barred him from entering. A church appellate court has just ruled last month that they were wrong to do that, and they have to let him preach up there. This church court has yet to rule on whether or not he can have his job reinstated here at First AME, and it's possible that they may be waiting for a decision on this lawsuit before that decision can be made. We're live in South LA. Angie Crouch, NBC4 News.
This is where it gets kind of shaky with the audio.
Victoria pastor's wife accidentally sent her PORN video to church WhatsApp group. Church members
accidentally send her $3x video to church WhatsApp group. Victoria pastor's wife accidentally sent her P0RN video to church WhatsApp group. Church members and leaders from an
apostolic church in Pretoria recently claimed that they are being hounded by strangers after horror videos of their pastor's wife was mistakenly shared on their church WhatsApp group. The videos were leaked and circulated on social media. The pastor's wife was actually sending the videos to her husband, the pastor, and accidentally shared them on the church WhatsApp group. According to News 28, one of the female members of the church who responded to the woman's video says she has been receiving calls from men as far away as New Zealand and has now been forced to change her number. We have been trying to get hold of the man of God and the wife. Unfortunately, we could.
Well, now new at 6.
Deliberately targeted the young mother of 2 in their get-rich-quick scheme for an almost 3 million rand payout. It was a bittersweet moment for her family.
It's a long journey, but today I'm so very happy. I'm so excited because I have a support from the whole church supporting me, feeling the pain I feel, and I'm so very happy.
For the past 3 years, this has been dragging, and we feel relieved in some sort of way. It won't bring her back. Nothing will ever bring her back, but it gives us some sort of closure. Because Uslampo lived for the moment. She embraced life. She was the light in the community because her smile lived up. It calmed raging seas.
The accused, Pumlani Qosheka, Siposishle Pamba, and Melisizwe Monko, faced other charges apart from murder. It included kidnapping and several charges of fraud. They used the same modus operandi on 3 other people in the Eastern Cape. Although there were attempts on their lives, they survived to give testimony during the trial. Sentencing proceedings will start on the 15th of November. Segui Chetty, SABC News, George in the Southern Cape.
To know that the College of Biblical Studies in Houston is offering a minor for pastors' wives, and I think there is such a crucial, critical need for that. I wish I had have had it available to me many years ago when my husband first started in ministry. I was probably about 21, 22 years old when he was called to pastor his first church, and I remember feeling just incredibly unqualified. As a young woman, I had actually been studying architectural engineering at the University of Kansas and dropped out of school to get married. And coming into a church setting where even back then there were many women who had degrees, some had advanced degrees, and that is even more the case now. I think there's just a great need for pastors' wives to take advantage of this opportunity. I think as well that a lot of times pastors' wives want to get advanced degrees, but there's this feeling that if I'm a woman and I go to seminary and I get a degree, that I'm saying that I want to be a pastor. And what I so appreciate about the College of Biblical Studies is that they are very clear that this degree does not qualify or encourage pastors' wives to compete with their husbands, but that it is an enabling and empowering tool that will equip pastors' wives to stand alongside their husbands. And I think one of the crucial needs in standing alongside my husband has been the responsibility to counsel women, and the burden is huge. And there have been so many times when I have wished that I had more training just in counseling from Scripture. I really do believe that the Word is competent to counsel every issue and every problem that is presented, but that we need to be more adept at knowing God's Word, of understanding God's Word, and knowing how to rightly apply it to the issues of our day. In my own personal life, there have just been countless opportunities, doors that have been opened for me to engage in ministry, and quite honestly, I have shirked those responsibilities, those opportunities. I have stepped back from them rather than walking into them because of my own feeling of being inadequate, not being prepared, not knowing the right thing to say. And I think that this degree, this ministry degree that the College of Biblical Studies is offering will do the very same for ministers' wives, for pastors' wives around the country that have not stepped up to the plate, that have not spoken up, that have been quiet because of those feelings of not being qualified, not ready, not quite all that God wants us to be.
Outspoken pastor and political activist Ken Atkins is in the Glynn County Jail. He turned himself in this morning on several counts of child molestation. The charges involve a boy under the age of 16.
Action News Jack's Caitlin Chana spoke to Atkins' wife, who says her husband is innocent.
Tonight, Ken Atkins is sitting behind bars in a jail cell in this building. Now, I spoke with his wife, who tells me he should be at home preparing for Sunday service instead of sitting in a jail cell. Ken Atkins arrested on 2 counts of child molestation involving a boy who is part of his teen ministry. Atkins' wife, Stormy, tells me these allegations are false.
And I'm emotional because, he's my husband and I love him very dearly.
I got my hands on the criminal arrest warrant. It says Atkins unlawfully and knowingly committed an immoral and indecent act on a boy under the age of 16 years old. Mrs. Atkins read me a statement saying law enforcement made a rush judgment decision on an accusation from 6 years ago. She tells me the young man was troubled and her husband opened the doors of their church to provide emotional support.
This young man was a part of our teen ministry. He was very part of our church family. Our church family loved him. We all loved him.
Atkins was arrested on 1 count of aggravated child molestation and 1 count of child molestation. He's being held without bond. Mrs. Atkins tells me her husband is being wrongfully accused.
You defended that these 2 charges are inaccurate.
Yes, ma'am.
Why do you say that?
Well, that's what I say and that's how I feel. And we'll find out. You'll find out in a court.
Atkins' attorney tells me he'll be visiting his client in a jail cell later on today. He'll also be filing a motion for bond. Reporting at Glynn County Sheriff's Office, Caitlin Chana, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
We've put the arrest warrant for this case and additional information about Atkins' criminal history on the Action News Jax mobile app and on actionnewsjax.com.
You've made it to the last part of the test, the season of drought, and you survived. You're going to pass this test. You're going to climb the mountain because on the other side of the mountain is peace, joy, tranquility, harmony, freedom. No longer are you going to have to be frustrated, wondering when is it going to happen? When is my breakthrough going to come? When is what I believe in going to manifest? How long do I have to sit here in hermit mode? How long do I have to sit here and pretend? Not much longer. You might as well go ahead and start getting your praise on now, because permanent overflow is coming. You're closer to it than you think. There won't be any more warnings. That's why your heart is beating fast. He's out there again. You can see him from the stage. He's obsessed with you. That's why he's taking your pictures. You're his fantasy. The latest episode of the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show is available on demand now, rated R for strong content, language, and thoughts. On this episode, fantasies and felonies. Strip club killers. On the Suspense Files, we cover the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, including crimes of passion, deadly relationships, mysteries, urban cold cases, and more. Click the link for the latest episode of the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Be careful. Try not to fall in love with a stripper. There won't be any more warnings. That's why your heart is... There are some gender reveals that reveal more than just the gender. They can reveal the agenda of a predator. The latest episode of the Suspense Files is available on demand now. The insanity that rocks the cradle. The pregnancy predator. On the Suspense Files, we're covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, including crimes of passion, deadly relationships, mysteries, urban cold cases, and more. Click the link in the bio for the latest episode on the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. Rated R for strong content, thoughts, and ideas. Murder, mystery, intrigue, suspense, all of the elements that make up the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show. And the latest episode is available on demand now. On this episode, Expelled, No One Will Tell, Murder in the Student Body. On the Suspense Files, we are covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime, from deadly relationships to urban cold cases and more. For all shades of brown people, this episode is rated R for strong language, thoughts, and ideas. It's time to click the link and podcast and chill with the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. If no one tells, someone may get away with murder. Are you going to let that happen? We'll see. It's time to podcast and chill with the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show. It's time to podcast and chill with the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. I return to sender. All demonic activity, all spell work, all voodoo, all black magic, all evil eye. You are not going to take over this show. I will go forth boldly and say what I have to say. Y'all, what in the? My gosh, Anyway, hey, we're human. This is what it is sometimes. I'm telling you, the enemy is so ugly. So ugly when you're trying to get a message across. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're back. Thank you for listening to the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak show. On the Suspense Files, we're covering the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. I'm your host, Sister Speak. Yeah, you heard it. You heard the clips, and we're going to get right into it. I'm not going to hold you long, but I'm going to hold you strong. Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's get into it. Human trafficking. Strickland. First of all, being able to say that name alone is a lot. Paid teenage boys to have sex with his wife, Jazz Monique. And he was the pastor of Second Baptist Church in Kalamazoo, which is in Michigan. You know, check this out. I'm never going to shy away from what I know about energy, and that a low vibrating energy, a demonic energy, and demonic activity is real. We're not going to pussyfoot around this. We're not going to bullshit. We're going to keep it 100 about this, okay? This man paid teenage boys to have sex with his wife. His wife had sex with the teenage boys and wanted and paid to have and requested that the photos be sent to him. Allegedly, I would assume that would be so he could masturbate to the photos, possibly sell them online, because once again, we're dealing with human trafficking. And there are different levels of human trafficking, but just the fact that any level of human trafficking is absolutely wicked, and it is not of the Most High God and Yah. Yet and still, people feel as if they can play God in your life, can dominate your life, cross your boundaries, and make you be their servant, make you be their carpet, and look at you as if you are 3/5 man, as if you are an animal. And it is a pseudo power, and it is a pseudo power, and it is a power that sees low, because the devil's power is not righteous. And so when some people literally get a high, an adrenaline rush, their endorphins, everything, their serotonin, everything is just at a rush, being able to dominate people. And then taking the word, the Most High God's word, and then perverting it and twisting it for their own narcissistic attacks is just demonic. It's evil, and it leaves so many wounded, because the Lord did warn us. He said, beware, beware. He didn't say do a cartwheel. He didn't say keep your eyes closed and your ears closed. He said beware, warning, caution, lava, danger. Beware of false prophets. People who lie on his name, pretend that they are this when they're not. Some pastors are actually in the pulpit because they really don't believe in God. Because if they did, they wouldn't play with it. They wouldn't even think about desecrating the holiness of the call to preach. Okay? And when you don't heal from your sexual traumas, and when you are sexually uneducated, or when you just are naturally just wicked and foul, it would not even be for reconsideration to change your actions for righteousness. You're never going to stop yourself from what you're doing because you're getting away with it. And you're dominating, and you're choosing the victims. I don't want to say wisely, but you're strategic in how you choose your victims to guarantee that you will not be caught. It is dangerous. And I don't understand what this pastor's wife was thinking. She knows how to pray. I don't know why she would even be how she could even be turned on being a grown woman by a 15-year-old. And that is just off. So the entire house was wicked. The marriage was wicked. The energies were wicked. They were not equally yoked in a righteous way, but they were equally, I don't want to say even yoked. They were just, their energies matched when it came to being demonic. I mean, this is something where you sit down with your husband. I don't even know how does the conversation even go to where you're going to approach me and say, hey, I've got this great idea. Let's prey upon young boys, bring them to the house. I'll pay them. You'll have sex with them. We'll take photos. And, we'll both be satisfying this energy that's seething in us and has a stronghold on us. I mean, what is the conversation like to where both parties agree that this is what they're going to do? I mean, seriously. Then this apartment fire sets place in, oh shit. Hold on one second. Y'all, I'm telling you, I don't know what is going on. I do know what's going on. Y'all, I returned to sender. Literally, I'm talking to you guys. I'm in my second recording studio, and the lights just went out. Right when I'm talking about this damn apartment fire, the lights went out. And I'm like, okay, I know the bill is paid, so wait a minute, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? Satan, you really that mad? Oh, well, I'm going to keep it going anyway. So anyway, there was an apartment fire, arson, allegedly, in Muskegon Heights, and James and Pamela Dunn, a pastor's wife, are facing 3 felony. Well, no, let me start over. Pamela Dunn, from her past criminal background, has 3 felonies for false pretenses dealing with defrauding electricity companies. She would run up the bill, and then she would go and switch to another company by using somebody else's name. And James, her husband, says that true is true, and what is true is true, and what is not true is what is not true. And we have done nothing wrong or evil. Now, allegedly, they have not yet been named as the overall suspects, but they'll definitely be under watch. The question is, how far is this pastor's wife willing to go to have money? And look at the lengths that she went to, allegedly, in order to have an insurance payout. She set the shit on fire. WTF? Like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set the house on fire. I mean, how do you wake up and say this is the day? I don't know. Is it like, do you mark it on your calendar? February 47th. I am going to do some fuckery, and I'm going to set this bitch on fire because I need to get an insurance payout. Yep, February 47th, 2022, I'm going to do some fuckery. And you say to yourself, yeah, I know what I can do. I can set the house on fire. Like, this is the part where you say this pastor's wife was pretty much, you know how like people ask you like, oh girl, what you mix with? Dumb. She's mixed with a lot of dumb. I got dumb in my family. Yeah, I got dumb in my family. I got a little bit of stupid in my family. Yeah, you know, I don't be liking to brag or nothing, but yeah, we part dumb, and then I'm part dumb. And see, like on my daddy's side, they part stupid, and then on my mama's side, they like, you know, they like from the tribe of ignorant. Yeah, so like, yeah, I'm mixed with a whole bunch of dumb shit. Like, seriously, because, you know, have you ever just, I mean, we all have done things where it's just like, okay, we've got to do better. This shit right here is not working. this is a dumb move. It's not prospering me. It's not profiting me. I've got to do better. And then you also get to learn about other people's got to do betters. And this right here, ma'am, Pamela Duncan. Pamela. Listen, Pamela and James. You got to keep your head above water. And I understand that. And yeah, you got to make a wave when you can. Temporary layoff, good times. Easy credit ripoff, good times. Scratching and surviving, good times. Hanging in a child line, good times. Ain't we lucky we got them, good times. How the fuck can you have good times, Pamela, if you're setting shit on fire? What about the good times, Pamela? Pamela. What about the memories, Pamela? The house, the couch, the furniture, Pamela. Pamela. How much fucking money, Pam, Pammy, Pamifer, Perrin, Perrin. How much money were you trying to get out of this elaborate scheme, allegedly, to set the shit on fire? Do you know that you have to be mixed also with batshit crazy to do that shit? And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to run this bill up. And I'm going to chuck the deuce. And I'm going to go run another. How many electricity companies do you know of? You must live in a big ass city. How many electricity? Ma'am. Listen. This is a prime example of collecting money from the church, right? To keep the church lights on. But meanwhile, y'all don't even think, y'all money probably wasn't even going towards the building fund, towards the church lights. She probably had that church in a hole. That ain't no telling who was y'all electricity company. Firecracker electricity, Bic electricity, 99-cent lighter electricity, flashlight electricity. What are we doing here, ma'am? Rub two sticks together electricity. What? I'm just asking. At what point? Space heater electricity company. What are we doing here, ma'am? What at some point, I really want to know who was the electricity company for the church, and I want to know whose name it was in. One of y'all probably have a huge ass fucking bill. You need to check your credit. Whoever is a member, what's the name of this church? I didn't even write it down. It don't even fucking matter because I ain't going, and hopefully none of my listening audience is going. But if you are a member of this church and you know Pamela and you know James, excuse me, Reverend James, Pastor James, and First Lady Pamela, you need to check your credit and see if Firecracker Electricity Company is in your name. Because it's looking like there is some fuckery that went all the way on, allegedly. And I wonder, I'm serious, whose name is in this bill? It's not funny, that part, that if in fact one of y'all got stuck with the bill, that's not funny because that is fraud, that is identity. Let me hold on. I ain't got to get the laugh out first because okay, it is not funny because your identity and, the trust and everything that comes along with, coming into a congregation and believing the pastor and the pastor's wife to be, 100% or close to it, or just, cool and not with the shit, and then to find out that they really with the shit, and then to check your credit and find out that Firecracker Electricity Company is on your credit. I'm just saying that shit is the shadiest shit. And, I would suggest not living with them because you never know when she's going to want to be Dalcine, Yoga Flame, and set some shit on fire because she's had a non-bright idea. James and Pam. Pammy, this ain't it. This ain't it. Stay tuned because they haven't yet been arraigned or they haven't yet been named as primary suspects, but it's looking kind of like it's seeming kind of like that. I don't know, just based on the clues and the history. Yeah, that they might be in a little bit of trouble. Okay? Because closing out on that one, like you said, true is true and not true is not true. So bright. I see why you the pastor. You are academics. That is profound, sir. True is true and not true is not true. Damn, I never knew that. I didn't. What time is your service start? Your Bible study is where I need to be at. Hashtag Bible study. What the heck? And then he said, nothing was done wrong or evil. That's exactly what the fuck it is. It's evil and wrong. Listen to the statement. Nothing was done wrong or evil. And I ain't gonna say too much. I'm gonna let everything else be said, but I ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm just saying. True is true. Not true is not true. Nothing is wrong or evil. Sir, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Go ahead. Nothing is wrong or evil. You've got it. You've got it. All right. Okay, so moving on to something that is absolutely requires our serious energy. So we're going to pull back. We're going to pull back, and I know y'all having a good laugh, but we're going to pull back because this next one really is just like, what do you say? What do you say about the fucked off energy that preys upon people? And these youngsters are absolutely lawless, and they are senseless with their guns and their motives, and it's almost like there is no moral compass. It's almost like the GPS to the land of upright will never ever be turned on. It's not a destination that will ever be searched for, okay? And for this woman to be, with the last name of Blackburn, to be killed, shot and killed. She was pregnant with her second child. Neither one of the victims survived. And shot to death in her home, an attempted burglary. I guess her husband, because I don't know why they have last names, Reverend Davy Johnson, came home and found her shot and killed. There were 3 suspects. My question is, because this is the suspense files, so you have to put some things out there and say a legend. Was this a murder for hire? Did he come home conveniently after creating an alibi? Is he a suspect? Has he been ruled out as a suspect? How fucking traumatizing and demonic and scandalous it is that you have to wake up and not be able to fight off 3 men who are charged up on demonic energy, who have a malicious agenda, who are there to execute that agenda, who are there to steal, kill, and to destroy. And you're pregnant. This is, and I know that this is about, this is about the pastor's wife. And I'm not saying that she, in this particular case, is a predator or is knows how to pray. I chose this clip because it just stuck out to me. She's a pastor's wife, and she's pregnant with their second child. And mysteriously, because it's just really weird, she doesn't make it to term. And he comes home to find her dead. You watch enough crime documentaries and shows, and for those of you who are really into solving crimes and, are sleuths and investigators, you find yourself kind of saying, wait a minute, something seems off. Because how convenient for him to come home after the fact. You never know what's going on in a marriage, especially in a marriage where a man is a preacher, and if he's a prominent preacher, and just so many of these ingredients, you never know what's going on behind closed doors. You just don't. You don't hear the fights. You may catch wind of some things, but you are not there to see what the Most High God sees, what the angel sees, what the ancestor sees. You're not there, so you're catching bits and pieces of it. But even in the bits and pieces that you catch of it, you find yourself saying, something is off. Did he have a mistress? Did the mistress become jealous of the pregnant wife and hire these men to take her out because she wanted to be with Davy Johnson? Was Davy Johnson faithful? Did he walk the straight and narrow when it came to his marriage? What type of spice was he into? What the fuck happened that day? That morning? And it's so sad because it's like you are premeditating this murder and you're going over there to do the unthinkable and you do it anyway. It's like there's no reward, there's no payout, there's just only grief and judgment. And it is tragic when you think that this is the life that you're supposed to lead and live, and you feel like, you can let your walls down only to be ambushed. That's gruesome. So what really is going on? What was going on in that home? And who was connected? Who knows who? Were there secret meetings? How much money was on the line? What was the bag? The term is what was the bag on her head? What was the bounty? What was it? Oh my gosh, we have to be very careful who we entertain ourselves with and the positions that we consider to be so desirable. We really need to see if the predestination includes certain positions of power or positions of being in the spotlight, because being in the spotlight attracts energies from all walks of life. And you have to keep your head on a swivel when you're in the public eye. And whether it's a micro level or a macro level. And you never know who's watching, who's coveting, who has murderous thoughts, their criminal background. You don't know all these people in the congregation. You don't know all these niggas. You don't know all these people. You don't know what's what. What you know is what is presented, but not what is authentic. And that's where the shock, the word shocking, comes into play. That's where the word awestruck comes up. Awestruck, dumbstruck. No, not dumbstruck, dumbfounded. Where you are just literally at a loss for words because this is just a lot. It's just, it's an energy that knocks you off of your feet because people are watching you when you are a pastor, when you are a pastor's wife. The pressure is on to perform, to dot the I's and cross the T's, to make sure that you have a skirt that goes past your knees. You can't be a thought and you can't be a tease. So please put your titties up, please. Yeah, you've got to be the straight and narrow. Everything has to be crisp. Nothing can be out of place. Now I have seen some pastor wives where I'm like, woo, shit. It is what it is. Hey, it is what it is. Hey, long day, I don't know. Maybe they was out slaying Goliaths and just came to church after a fresh, from being on the battlefield of the Lord. I don't know. I done seen some pastors wives that just didn't give a damn. It's like they somersaulted into the church with no bonnet on. But for the most part, the pastor's wife is elegant. She's the creme de la creme, allegedly. The bigger the church, the bigger the possibility to have a lot of vain attributes about yourself. And when you are in a bigger church, you think women are not looking at that position, as I said last night. And you think women are not looking at your husband. Yeah, they want your husband. They want that position. They want him. It's something about that power. And there are women that will stop at nothing to be the first lady, to be the pastor's wife, and or to find some way to wreck it. And sometimes it's the woman that wrecks the marriage. It's not always the man that wrecks the marriage. Shoot, the pastor's wife could have a side chuck. You never know. It cannot be one-sided when it comes to the gender. We got to look at the energy. All things are on the table when it comes to ministry scandals. You cannot just say, oh, it's just, no. That's why so many people can get away with it on a lower level, because you are focusing over here when you need to focus over here. It's kind of like when being all shades of brown and walking to a store where you have the potential to purchase and you're being watched, you're being followed by someone who believes that you are a thief based on your melanin, based on what they learned when they were at the INS, when they were getting their merchant training. And because these stereotypes of saying that, people of color are, engage in criminal activity and they'll steal and stuff, it allows others to then engage in a lot of stealing because you're unsuspecting of them, because stereotypically it's always been this particular group of people allegedly that do it. Meanwhile, the other nations are taking all your inventory and getting away with it. So you have to look at it in totality. Anybody can steal. Anybody can scam. Anybody can be scandalous in the church. It's not just the pastor, it's the pastor's wife too that knows how to pray. He's a praying pastor, and she's a pastor's wife that knows how to pray. It's real, y'all. So my condolences. That's a lot right there to have to endure. And moving on to Lemon Grove, husband found dead in the home. Gabriella Shepherd, his wife, the pastor's wife, thought her husband was an intruder. Now, did you really, Gabriella? Did you really think that your husband was an intruder? You guys have been married since 2016. I think that's your marriage. Wait, because I got a lot of notes. Yeah, I think I remember that. You've been married since 2016. I think. Regardless, it doesn't matter. You don't know your husband. You don't know his shape, his walk, his everything. Like you're not familiar with the husband, so you thought he was an intruder. And so you shot him because you thought he was an intruder. Or is that what you came up with in your mind, allegedly, before in the premeditation? That's some weird shit. Like, you thought he was an intruder. And the police were like, all right, sounds good. Yeah, I can see how that happened. Then, I guess, after getting back to the office, the detectives had a jinkies moment and said, you know what? Wait a minute. Nah, something ain't right. We need to go back to the crib and bring her back with us. And they arrested her for his murder. Because they didn't buy it either. Allegedly, we don't believe that you thought that was your husband, ma'am. That you did not think that was your husband. That was not an intruder, ma'am. And you know that. And the community is shocked. But I'm wondering, what was the relationship like? Was she one of those ones where did he have a spine in the home? What was her position in the home with her energy? Was she jealous of the ministry? Was she jealous of the community attention? Did she have something going on the side? Was there something that was going to come out that she didn't want him to find out about, so she killed him? What led to her thinking that her husband was an intruder? My gosh. Nobody's supposed to be here. That's some shit right there. That's some shit. No, you know what? Yeah, 2016 married. No previous criminal record. Damn. 2016 is 2022. Oof. 6 years later. 6 years later, you don't know your husband's body, his shadow, just like nothing. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Because you know they be acting and shit. If you've ever watched the First 48 Dateline where they show the interrogation room, it is some serious acting. I mean, ma'am, we hate to inform you that your husband's been shot. Oh, no, please, no, tell me, no, Johnny, oh my gosh, Johnny, no, what happened, oh, no. Yeah, all that shit. They know what the fuck happened. She knew that Johnny was dead before the police did. But, in her mind, she doesn't want to go to jail for this shit. She just wants him to be dead, but she doesn't want the consequences. So, I'm going to try to cry and lie my way out of this and see if I can get off with my tears and my acting skills. Yes, it's really ironic that she didn't know that was her husband. Really sad for the children. Really sad for the children that mommy didn't know who daddy was. Now we have First AME Baptist. You can't be an AME Baptist church. First AME Church ensuing a legal battle with John and Denise Hunter, Pastor John and First Lady Denise Hunter, for financial mismanagement. Denise feels like it's a witch hunt. She feels like you guys got the wrong people. It's not true. Whatever the fuck you guys think. And she would really like for you guys to stop meeting and figuring shit out, honestly. If she could just find out who had discernment. What the fuck are you doing with discernment? What do you mean that you can see and you had a dream? The Lord told you. Wait a minute. Wait. No, seriously. Denise is pissed and she feels like this is a witch hunt. John doesn't want to talk to anybody. John doesn't have shit to say. He's pissed. And John also is dealing with, allegedly, I think, settling with a sexual harassment lawsuit. Here it is. I'm married to you, and you have looked me in my eye, and you have told me that, baby, you are the one I want. You're the one I want to be with. I'm a changed man. I am going to be 100% faithful to you, and I am going to uphold this marriage and be faithful, period. And we're going to, do this church thing, and everything is going to work out because I've been called to preach, and you're first lady. And she says, okay, right? And then, here it is. I'm alleging Denise is minding her business, and John has to now come home after telling her that he would never embarrass her and fuck her life over, that, baby, I just need to let you know that, I just, I wanted you to be the first to know because, you're my wife and we a bond and we strong, we, for better, for worse, and I just want you to know that, baby, there's somebody, now it ain't true, baby, because, you know me, I'm a man of God. Only thing I lay my hands on is people for healing. But there's an alleged sexual harassment charge against me, baby. And I just need you to know that you're going to ride with me and stand by me through this, because it's not. Is it true, James? Is it true, John? Is it? Baby, I just told you. Is it fucking true, John? I have stood by you for so long. Baby, I'm just saying, I wanted you to know. That's why I'm telling you, baby. I know you stood by me. I appreciate you, baby. I love you. I'd do anything. Don't try to leave me, baby. I need you to stand by me because the news crew gonna be here in like 10 minutes. What? 10 minutes? What do you mean? Oh, I don't have any more Isoplus. I'm not able to bump my ends. What do you mean? How could you do this to me? How am I supposed to go to church? How am I supposed to stand in front of these people knowing that my husband has a sexual harassment claim charge against him, baby? How could you do this to me? Baby, I'm so sorry. I don't like to see you cry like this. I'm so sorry, baby. Baby, I don't know. I'm going to ask you one more time, James. Is it true? Is it true? Is their sexual harassment charge true, James? Now don't make me have to ask you again, James. Is it true? You said you weren't going to ask me again. Is it true, James? Baby, she said that she said what? Baby, I was just doing my counseling, and then she came on, she tried to drop it like it was hot in my lap. Oh, so now you're letting, now you're letting people give you lap dances. I thought you said you was delivered from this, Jonathan. Baby, why you call me by my first name? Jonathan? In a minute, I'm gonna call you nigga. No, seriously, y'all, the financial mismanagement is at the forefront of this legal battle, and the parishioners at First AME are fed up. There was a big chain around the mansion door. It's the church's home, but they had to get out. Somewhere along the line, you have to ask yourself this. Why is the hospital being run like a corporation instead of a place of rehabilitation? I understand having to maintain certain administrative duties, okay? But it's like, how many ministries does your church have? I'm just asking. There's the speed bump ministry. There's the church fan ministry. How many do you have? See, the more ministries, the more problems. Y'all need about one or two things if y'all going to be assembling together. You don't need all of this. the more you expand and turn what is supposed to be a healing place into a brand, it's only a matter of time before the fuckery begins, because now this is a fucking corporation, and you can't have a corporation without corpse. Yeah, I'm quite sure Jonathan and Denise are mad that somebody put out their calculator and said, hold on. I'm sure one of the deacons put out an abacus and was like, slide to the left, slide to the left, slide to the right. No, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Well, what do you think is not right, deacon? According to my abacuses. Abacuses? Don't you correct me. Okay, according to your abacuses. According to my abacuses. I got 3 balls to the left, 4 to the right, 2 down to the left, 1 in the middle, 4 to the left. Okay, so what does all that mean? What that means is something ain't right. Okay. All right. Well, okay. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. I built this church when this church was nothing but a stone. And I will not let my hard work and my daddy's hard work and my brother John, Ray, Melvin, Leroy, Curtis James, Michael Sean, none of us are going to let this church go down because of some jackleg preacher and his wife. No. My abacuses is right. My abacuses is right. I'm telling you all, this shit is off, and I'm quite sure they're mad that they got together and figured it out. Really pissed about that. Then he moved, tried to preach somewhere else, and they're like, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? I'm here to preach. No, you're not. What do you mean? No, you're not. No, for real. What's his name? Reverend Hunter. You may not here. What you mean? Nah, not here. No, for real, I'm on the program. Nah, no, you're not. You didn't get the updated version. No, we will not be letting you in our pulpit. We know the energy that you got. You're not gonna fuck up our shit. Nope. Sorry, sir. But I'm telling you, you are going somewhere. No, right now. No, this is not a Whitney Houston moment. What do you mean you're not going nowhere? No, sir. In fact, you are. There's a time and a place where you have to understand. Maybe your water's been cut off. Maybe you're being blocked for a reason. I'm just saying. Pastor's wife sent porn to him, so she thought, on WhatsApp, sent it to the wrong people, it leaked, and now the church is traumatized. They saw some stuff that they probably they probably doing themselves, but just to see the shit on video, it's just like, wait a minute, you know, like, yuck, like, you know, can you imagine? Here you are minding your own fucking business, right? Just trying to just be the best person you can be in life. Like, just trying your best to fight the devil, fight the good fight. You're really just trying to get it together, right? So the last fucking thing you're expecting when you get a message notification is some porn. Well, that should be the last thing you expect. And some of you are like, oh, shit, well, mind your business, Sister Speak. No, delete your business. But moving forward, it's like, I just got a few things. Number one, when are people going to learn to stop videotaping themselves fornicating? When the fuck are people going to stop videotaping themselves having sex? Like, what is this about? Are we living in a remedial season where people are just like dumb as shit? Like, the lights ain't on at all. There is not, I don't want to hear nothing about no tantalizing, no sexual spices. I don't hear none of that shit. you don't even, please don't think that you can film, that it's okay to film me. And I would hope that it would not be okay to film yourselves, right? But no, that's not the case, because she hit select all. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. Is that it? Oh, seen it all. And you know, there are some people who saw it and clicked off immediately and started praying. And there were some people that watched that shit all the way through. Keep it 100. Keep it 100. There's no need to have a porn tape of you and your spouse. I don't care. You need to stop letting the ways of the world make you think that you've got to spice up your shit all the way to hell. I'm going to sprinkle some lava on our relationship. How about we put a little Hades on it? Hey, add a little Sheol to your relationship. Hey guys, looking for some death? Add a little Gehenna to your marriage. Hey, do you really want to get yourself blocked from the kingdom? Add a little defilement to your marriage. Yeah, that's what the society says to do. We are going to suggest that you do all these things because you need to keep your marriage as spicy as possible. I'm just saying. Some people don't want to hear this talk. I don't really give a fuck, because this is the truth. We have got to get to a point where we kind of like stop just being so convinced like we're not being watched. We're always being watched. Oh. Then you listened to the video. You know what? I'll be right back. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Sometimes you don't even know what you're getting yourself into. All you know is that you have to have it, and you have to have it right now. The latest episode of the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show is available on demand now. On this episode, we're covering sex and murder, sleeping with the setup chick. Rated R for strong content and language. On the Suspense File, we cover the who, the what, the when, the where, and the why in urban crime. From crimes of passion, deadly relationships, mysteries, and urban cold cases, and more. You won't be disappointed. On the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Click the link for the latest episode. The season of you being prey has come to an end. Family, friend, foe versus your freedom. What are you going to choose? The latest episode of the Vent Session on the Sister Speak Show is available on demand now. Episode 2, Stop Being Weak. We're covering haters in your life. Why are they howling at you? Car chases. Let me out the car. This doesn't taste good. Where's the original recipe? Protecting adulterers. Why are your people scandalous? Rent, utility, and food relief. Learning how to ask for help and people who don't help. The Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action, a talk show for great minds that create, inspire, impact, and evolve. Click the link for the latest episode. Warriors, mount up and be encouraged. Slingshot season. This is Sister Speak with a word of encouragement. Spiritual warfare is real, and it is slingshot season. That's right. You are prepared for this. It is time for you to defeat the bears, the lions, and the giants in your life. You are stronger than what you think, and when you are chosen, you are anointed. No longer can you operate in the spirit of fear, and no longer can your boundaries be attacked. Carnal weapons produce carnal results. Spiritual weapons produce spiritual results. Get your smooth stones and your slingshot ready, because being victorious and more than a conqueror is a part of your lineage. Because our cousin David was about that life. Your enemy's plans are deterred, decapitated, and destroyed. Be encouraged.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Suspense Files on the Sister Speak Show. I am your host, Sister Speak. Check this out. I'm about to say something that is going to definitely... I said I could read the rest of my notes, but right when I took the commercial break, the Most High is always in control of the show. So I'm just going to follow the energy that I am feeling led to follow. And this really is something that I have to say that is going on right now. There are pastors who are living a double life. So we can, consider this maybe to be part 2. Not even part 2, but this is really blending last night's episode and this episode. There are pastors and pastors' wives that are living double lives. But there's a specific thing that I want to address that needs to be addressed. And it's being addressed, but I'm going to say this. There are pastors, preachers, that are living a double life. And I'm talking about a specific one. Where you like men. Where you're living a down low life. Where you are completely engulfed and imprisoned by the same-sex energy and the craving for it. And there are some men who go after women, seek a wife, knowing that they have these cravings. Knowing that you come to these churches presenting yourself to be in a opposite sex energy field, okay? But that's not the case. And you prey upon certain women. Now I'm going to get to the women because this is a twofold conversation. You prey on these women. And you know that you secretly desire the same sex more than the opposite. And so you have a down low lifestyle where you have a lover, allegedly. And if you were to be exposed, a lot of shit would just crumble. And you marry women knowing that you've got a secret that can fuck her, that will fuck her life up. Excuse me, y'all. That will fuck her life off. And you hide behind the word. You hide behind the black suit with the white, whatever that is in the middle. I don't know what the fuck that is. But I don't know what that is. The collar. But you hide behind it. You have this tone and this whole uniform, this whole like work outfit energy about yourself, this look. But you've got this secret that will completely destroy this woman. And some of you use these women as a beard to get ahead in the ministry, to get a church, to be a bishop, to steal a position that you're not supposed to be in, and you know that there are requirements in order for you to be such and such and such and such, and so you seek a wife, knowing that you are already her assassin, an assassinator, and you lie, and you're entangled in some fucked up shit. And the church is coming there, the congregation is there, and they're relying upon you to hit a grand slam every Sunday, to be truthful. But you are entangled with men outside and inside of the congregation. When are you going to stop fucking around? When are you going to stop playing the games and pretending and lying? When are you going to seek the deliverance? Why don't you just, why do you want to be healed? Or is it just fuck it? Do you think a woman wants to come home or have any type of intuition that you're in a same-sex relationship? Do you know how that fucks a woman's head up? Or do you not give a fuck? How could you, being in that energy? You don't even give a fuck about yourself. You're not even being loyal to yourself. Do you understand the devastation that a preacher's wife endures having to deal with a church scandal that deals with sex? And have to come back and then have to try to stand beside your man, your husband, and be strong and be a warrior for him to deny the allegations even though they're true. To be made a fool of, to go to before the public and say, I'm standing beside my husband no matter, and he is not guilty of these allegations, so on and so forth, but in fact he is, though. There are victims, though. He's lying to you, though. The church will be separated because there's always a division when scandal hits the church. Now, what happens when the preacher's wife doesn't want to stand with her husband, or the preacher doesn't want to stand with his wife? That down low shit in the church is real. You have seen it, I have seen it, and we know the energies, and we know me being a woman, I know when a man is not, and that's just what it is. That energy, and it can be balanced, but you have to want it to be balanced. You have to want to say to yourself, I don't want to engage in this shit no more. This is demonic activity. There's no need for this energy to make me be in a ministry scandal. Now you've got your same-sex lover that's in the church blackmailing you. It's rough. Are you thinking about your wife and then you're having sex with your wife without a condom? You nasty, nasty bange. I'm talking to every single pastor, preacher who is contaminating his wife with your dirty dick. And other people. You need to put your penis in the baptism pool. Yeah. Quiet, because this is the truth. Sisters. 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 There's no need to rush predestination. There's no need to ignore what you see. I have been approached by 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 down low ministers. And I'm grateful that I was in a vibration to where I can tell that this was off and that they were on the DL, that they were gay. Allegedly. I'm not saying any names, but they are. And some of them are married. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. What am I supposed to do when I want to be married and I desire, a man of God? How much am I willing to ignore just to be able to walk around and say, I'm minister such and such's wife? I'm pastor such and such's wife. When I was approached by these men, I was already aware of the down low culture. So I thank God for the education in that. I tell this story all the time. I was visiting my family and there was a book, and it was by J.L. King. It was about being on the down low. And now some of it I couldn't read because some parts were graphic, and I just couldn't take it. But there was a lot of interesting pieces in there that stuck with me to this day, and signs that he pointed out that I still remember to this day. Those signs I saw in these men. Which means that they were willing to approach me and never gave a damn about me. They only cared about their agenda. And they thought that by me being their wife, that would seal the deal in their heads. And I had to go into battle against these men. I had some type of micro or macro battle with these men. And I had one in particular that would not leave me the fuck alone and tried to sabotage my time at a church. Meanwhile, he is allegedly, and it's not fair when you go to a church and you got to fight for yourself because the pastor doesn't know how to protect. When the pastor has forsaken his duties as a shepherd because he was never called to be one. You can't expect a pastor to be what he was never called to be. So when you see them do certain things, or when these scandals come out, you shouldn't be shocked. You can't expect them to be who they're not. But you don't know these things until these things actually are exposed. I was not protected. There were other members who were not protected from the wolves and the witches and the bullshit that went on at this church. There was a lot of suspicious activity going on at this church. And it is detrimental to your eyesight. It is detrimental to your existence in that energy field. It's a lot to endure, you all. It's a lot to endure. And there are women married to men right now who are living a double life, who are ministers, that are engaging in some, who have done a lot of dark things. And the women are so anxious to be a wife. You don't give a fuck who it is that you marry. It doesn't matter. And if you don't read, If you don't discern, if you don't have the Most High God, where you are in a constant communication with Him, you may miss the signs that this man right here is not really a man of God. And so you have to ask yourself, why do I want to be a preacher's wife? Because this lady in that clip, she was saying, like, if you come to this Bible college, we can teach you how to be a first lady. They'll teach you how to be a first lady. I was like, what has this world come to? You can get a minor in being a pastor's wife. Boy. Some courses should be free. You know, real shit. Real shit. But when it comes to these scandals in the church, we can all, if we be real, admit that we know about some and maybe even have been in some. Like I said, I'm not going to ever hide why I left the church the way I did. And I didn't leave, not say the church, I left going to the building and putting myself in that energy field. I don't put myself in that energy field because I know better. I'm healed. I'm not wounded. They better not ever try me again. And, you know, if I ever were to run into them again, you know, they would definitely not know how to approach me because I'm maturing. But I left because I was tired of the energy being evil. Knowing stuff that I should not have known. Seeing things that I should not have seen. Being friends, allegedly, with people that I had no business being friends with, being cool with. Like, you look back on your life and you say to yourself, damn, I should have moved differently. But now you know better. You can tell other people, hey, you need to move differently when you walk up in those doors. You better move real different. Don't be trying to be hanging out with the who's who and the what's what. You know what I'm saying? Be careful when you walk into that energy field. There's a lot of regrets. Not regrets, there's just a lot of things that I've learned that I would never do again. It's the difference between, you know, old and new. And some people think because you don't go into those four walls that you stop believing in God. There's a lot of dumbass people, dumb people walking this earth. A lot of dumb people, they want to say, oh, you're going to hell because you're not coming on Sunday and this, that, and that. Look, and look. I was delivered from the building because the building's on fire. Real shit. I can't seek God in peace in here. So I'm not staying. You niggas disrupt people's peace. Intentionally. And you're barely spoon feeding us. And nobody can correct the pastor. You have to walk on pins and needles. Can't do nothing wrong, or it's going to be hell to pay. What type of what type of hospital is that? Being the pastor's wife and having the pastor's wife prey upon people, get into that position just so they can take advantage of the congregation, just so they can dominate, just so they can be seen, that is making a mockery of God. The pastor has a wife, and she knows how to pray. Demonic activity. Ministry scandals. The one thing I love is that you can be delivered, literally, from your old self. You don't have to subject yourself to a routine, a regimen that will not grow your soul, your mind, your heart, your position, your power. Why would you want to have a false prophet as a teacher? Why would you defend a false prophet? Why would you marry one? Some of you are struggling with your churches because you're not supposed to be in one. You're not supposed to have one. Some of you got 4 members and 3 of them are your family. Some of you want to quit, but you can't. The masquerade. Some of you are literally playing with the word why and preying upon people who out of some of those people just want to be better. Brothers and sisters, the time has been well spent. I really want you to guard and protect your energy field, and I don't want you to kiss any pastor's ass. I don't want you to try to rub shoulders with the who's who in a congregation, whether it's a small or large congregation. I want you to really start thinking about seeking the Most High God Sunday through Sunday. Sabbath through Sabbath, like Saturday through Saturday. Saturday through Saturday. I want you to, Sunday through Sunday. Every day. Seek Him. Please. I don't like this energy. I return to sender. That didn't make no dang sense. Every day you need to seek Him. And if you're relying upon a church to feed you or tell you when it's time to eat, no wonder you're suffering. No wonder you're mean-spirited. No wonder you're bitter. No wonder you haven't been delivered. You are in the wrong clinic. You're in the wrong hospital. You know, back in the day, the doctors used to visit the house calls. The Lord still, Most High God still does house calls. Some of you right now are a well in a fishbowl at your church. You know more than everybody in the congregation. You're getting downloads. You're insightful, like you're literally chosen, and you're a threat in that congregation. That's why you're being targeted. That's just a side note. I don't want my sisters to desire to be a preacher's wife, a pastor's wife, for vain reasons. Okay? Because if you were smart, you wouldn't even tell anybody that you're a pastor's wife. Because you know that a pastor is somebody who, when he's actually been called, must be protected. So why would you even expose that you're a pastor's wife and give intel to the enemy? No, you have to be careful and wise. It's a movement. It's not something where you just sit up there and look fancy. It's a position, a warrior position that few have been chosen. Few are being called. So there are specific people who are in fact called to be a preacher, called to be a pastor, a bishop, a deacon. There are genuinely women who have been called to be a wife and to hold the responsibility of being a virtuous woman for her husband, who has been given the assignment to teach the word of the Most High God in Yah. This world doesn't have time for you to be feeding us junk food. That's why I said, that's why the word says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. You feel me? Like, I mean that. Uh-oh. Somebody has something they want to say. The time has been well spent. I thank you so much for listening to the Sister Speak Show. You've been listening to the Suspense Files where we cover the who, what, when, where, why in urban crime. You've been a divine listening audience, a wonderful listening audience. And my main goal is for you to know that the Most High God and Yah is real, that spirituality is real, that you are to seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. For you to know that you are a warrior, for you to understand that you are to protect yourself and you are to stand strong and firm, that your hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and his righteousness, and you are standing on the rock of your salvation, the rock of ages, and that it is imperative that you wake up and come forth, and that you emancipate, in some cases escape from the jaws of death, from the volcano. Some of you are going to church inside of a volcano, and the volcano is getting ready to erupt. You do not need to be in the midst of the lava when it flows. Don't be caught up in the scandal when the scandal hits. If you know that you are a part of something that you need to immediately walk away from, you do so. You find a strategic, wise way to get up out of that thing, and get up out of that thing quickly. Because one thing I know about the Most High God is that you should never, ever take for granted mercy and grace. And that you cannot afford in this day and age not to know the truth, and to not feed yourself, and to not sharpen yourself in order for you to be equipped in this battle, because you are under attack. Spiritual warfare is real. If you don't think it's real, then I don't think you should even be listening to this podcast. You can't afford for some man to stand before you every Sunday hollering, sweating, performing, and prolonging, and not even having a divine interpretation on the word, and lying to you about being called, and you have your faith in this man. Oh my gosh. When are my people going to stop idolizing the black preacher? When are we going to stop trying to rub shoulders with the first lady? When are we going to stop trying to be the first lady? When are we just going to accept the fact that we are a part of a royal priesthood and be okay with that? How many more scandals must come out before we say maybe we should stop meeting here? Maybe we should do something differently. Maybe we should put ourselves in a high vibration. Maybe we should just acknowledge the fact that this entire congregation is not healed. It's suffering from some things. When are you going to stop covering up for the pastor, meanwhile showing the children who are being abused by the pastor allegedly that their voices don't matter, and that there's no safety and protection for the baby sheep? I'm just asking today, black woman, black people. I go to church faithfully every Sunday. I'm sure you do, with your mean-spirited self. I believe it. You have met some of the meanest people in these churches, and some of these first ladies are not as nice as they should be. They know how to pray. Brothers and sisters, the time has been well spent. I thank you so much for being a wonderful listening audience. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Help me get to 50K. If you're interested in donating to the Sister Speak Show Network, you can do so via Cash App or PayPal. What is PayPal? I guess I'm starting to become a little teepee. I don't have PayPal, and I don't think you do either. If you do have PayPal, you need to really uninstall it off your phone, because that's a third-party app that's waiting to steal your whole life. PayPal. No, but seriously, my Cash App is $SisterSpeak76, and my PayPal is the Sister Speak Show. Period. Okay? That's it. The Sister Speak Show. Brothers and sisters, you're divinely protected. I'm divinely protected. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and end this show. Thank you for listening to the Suspense Files. I'm your host, Sister Speak. I can't wait to converse with you again. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Oh my goodness. I gotta say this. And many of you need to hear this. I said it last night. I'm going to say it again because it just came to me. Please stop leaving your children in the custody of these church members. You're too trusting. You're not in mama bear mode, papa bear mode, and you're letting the cubs walk into danger, sleep in danger. You're exposing your children to dangerous elements in these churches. There are predators in the church, and you're too trusting. I don't give a fuck how many teen ministry events they have. If it's a sleepover, the only sleepover your child should be going is sleeping over there on the couch in the house. But she cannot leave. You need to protect your children's bodies from the predators. I don't give a damn how much you love your pastor, how cool you are with the first lady. Stop sacrificing your children. There are some events that they should not attend, and that's because you are wise enough to know that there are demons lurking, that there is demonic activity. Church sleepovers, Church shut-ins, Spend the night at such and such house, Not in this day and age, not in any day and age. You have got to protect your children. Please stop exposing them to these demons. Stop exposing them to the praying pastor. Stop exposing them to the pastor's wife. She knows how to pray. I return to sender all black magic, all spell work, all voodoo. It has an adverse effect immediately in your bosom. I return to sender all demonic activity, all spell work, all voodoo. I gotta say it again. All evil eye magic. I'm divinely protected, and so is my listening audience. The devil is already defeated. You be blessed. You be encouraged. Warriors, mount up.